All right, let's break this down. Pete Prisco is in. As much as I'd like to start with the Eagles and the winners and Fly Eagle Fly and the champs, the more interesting angle to me right now is the Giants, who seem to be in free fall, and I don't know where bottom is here. They, as you just mentioned, Nick said, they're 4-18. That's the second worst in the NFL the last 22 games. Is it time to sit Eli Manning?
Well, you got to consider it, but look, he was bad tonight, but he was good last week, so it's hard to just say sit him down. This is more than just Eli the quarterback. It's more than just the offensive line. It's more than just defensive woes. They quit tonight. I mean, you looked in the second half, there were guys that weren't trying. That's a reflection of the head coach. You saw your star wide receiver, Odell Beckham, go off the field with 2 seconds left, even though there was a chance at a Hail Mary.
In the first half, yeah.
That's in the first half. That's terrible. You can't allow that to happen. Eli Apple had a tantrum on the sideline. This comes a week after Sterling Shepard had one. Bottom line is, this team looks in disarray. If you want to point fingers at somebody, you could point fingers at Eli Manning. He's been around for a long time. He deserves to have them pointed at him. But how about the head coach? Pat Shurmur, rein your guys in. Get control of your damn football team.
I'm going to take this a step further. You want to blame Pat Shurmur? You know what I say? Blame the guy that hired Pat Shurmur. That's Dave Gettleman, who in the NFL draft decided that his football team was a running back away from contending for a world championship and took Saquon Barkley. And look, Saquon Barkley's awesome. Like, no one's going to sit here and say Saquon Barkley's not a good football player. Over 200 yards of total offense. The Giants scored 13 points. Not taking a quarterback, Pete, going to haunt this football team, the New York Giants, here for years to come?
Well, I mean, you would think where they were, you would say yes, but they're probably going to be right back in that position again to take another one. I mean, you can get a guy, but the problem isn't passing on a quarterback. The problem is taking a running back. They have so many other positions.
But they needed a quarterback.
They did need a quarterback.
Clearly.
But they also need other spots. If you think you're going to wait on a quarterback and come back next year and get your quarterback, don't take a running back in that spot. Take a pass rusher. They could go for another pass rusher to go with Olivier Vernon, who hasn't played until tonight. You can go for an elite tackle, which they don't have. I mean, they paid all that money for Nate Solder. Bottom line is, Barkley's a great player. The value of the position doesn't warrant you being taken.
Right. When you need a refrigerator, you don't buy a beautiful Tiffany lamp.
No.
You know what I mean? You got to get your needs before you get the beautiful stuff. Now, the second big decision this offseason for the Giants was they ponied up for OBJ. And it has not been smooth. Tonight, as you mentioned, right before the end of the first half, I don't know, maybe thought the half was over. Maybe there was some other reason why. 2 seconds left. He starts walking in the locker room. The only problem is the Giants have the ball. They get the ball back, and they're trying to throw a Hail Mary, and their best player, the most expensive player, all the other good stuff, other than Eli, is nowhere to be found. All right? What do you do with this guy? You just find him last week. What are they going to do with OBJ?
Well, unless we know he went off to get an IV, or he had some kind of injury, or maybe even had to use the bathroom, who knows? But if he just walked off, this is on the head coach. He's got to get control of this football team.
There's 2 seconds left in the first half. We need you to run down and catch the Hail Mary. Hold on. I got to hit the head. It's going to be an okay excuse.
Well, if you got to go bad enough, it might be.
No, it wouldn't have been walking off. He'd have been running off.
If it was an IV or an injury or something, I get it. I don't think it was. I just think he walked off in frustration, which is a bad look for the Giants. This is 2 weeks in a row, a bad look for Odell Beckham. Remember, before he got his contract, what did we hear all offseason? He was being the good soldier. He was the good guy. He was doing everything they wanted him to do. Then he gets his contract, and what happens? He goes back to doing Odell Beckham things. I get it. He's frustrated. I understand that. He should be. He's playing with a quarterback who can't get him the football, or in an offense that won't get him the football. But bottom line, you got to be a better teammate than that. You're one of the leaders on this team. You can't do that in this type of situation.
Well, here's the thing now, because everyone's going to talk about Odell Beckham, right? On Friday morning, that's what everyone's going to talk about is Odell Beckham, and did the Giants make the mistake signing him? And that's all well and good. But the quarterback's not very good. The offensive line's not very good. Pete, you said it. The head coach doesn't have control of the team. You got to ding the GM that took the running back second overall and hired the coach. And, oh, by the way, they have absolutely no pass rush whatsoever. And they're 1-5.
All right.
Things are getting worse.
How bad? Can we all smile now? Can we smile? Can we take the rosy side of the street?
But how bad is it going to get?
No. I mean, I'm talking about the team that wore green tonight that won the Super Bowl last year. Are the Eagles back? Carson Wentz, 2 weeks in a row now, looks great. Got injured at the end of last year. Remember, we still know he's not going to start week one. Not really sure. Is he back? Are they back?
He's back. they're back. There's still some issues. The offensive line still needs a little cleaning up. We saw Jason Peters have all kinds of problems with Olivier Vernon early in the game. He's had season-long issues, and that's a concern. But they're back. Look, we talked about it in the pregame show. They have tons of talent. It just hasn't played up to the expectations. Nobody. And they hate to hear the phrase Super Bowl hangover. We don't have a Super Bowl hangover. Every team you've ever talked to in the history of the league says we're not going to have it. They all have it. You start reading your press clippings. You start taking the workout. You might take it off. Oh, I don't need to do that. We won already. And it's slow to get the process going. I think tonight they showed the talent's still there, and now all that stuff is behind him, and the Eagles can start playing like the Eagles of last year.
Evaluate Carson Wentz's performance.
I thought it was good. I mean, look, he missed a couple high throws. There were some throws where guys were open and he sailed them, and it's still a little bit with his feet, and he doesn't set his feet sometimes. But it was better tonight. It was more in rhythm. And we saw the opening touchdown when he was flushed from the pocket and he kept his head up and fired a rifle shot to Alshon Jeffery in the back of the end zone. That's what you want from Carson Wentz. You want him on the move, making throws. He looked like that tonight. I think he's back to being Carson Wentz again.
Fill in the blank. The team that will win the NFC East is?
Philadelphia Eagles. I thought it all along. Even though they got a slow start, I still think they have the most talent in the division. And they have probably the best quarterback in the division, and they have the most talent. That's usually a combination for success. And
if
they can rush the passer.
It's not Dak. It's not Eli.
And it's not Alex
And it's
Smith.
not Alex Smith.
It's Carson Wentz. And it's a passers and pass rusher league. They have the passer, and they have the pass rushers. We saw that tonight. They started getting after Eli Manning. This is the first time where their pass rush actually looked dominant again.
The Eagles were dominant in all regards on Thursday Night Football, beating the Giants 34-13. Pete Prisco always dominating.
I'm
with
getting
his
off with
NFL
2 seconds
analysis.
left.
Yeah,
Is that
go ahead,
okay?
2 seconds.
I'm leaving.
And tap out like Fletcher Cox.
I'm leaving.
Keep
See you
bringing it
guys.
for us here on HQ.